Coach Steph here. So glad to see you. Today we are going to talk about anybody out there feeling lonely. Of course, there are people out there feeling lonely. I hear about this all of the time. So before we jump in, all the things, subscribe, like, share, and let me know how you're doing. Put a comment below and let me know what's going on with you. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, loneliness. Yes, are you lonely? Just those places that you are wanting connection, you're wanting companionship. These are going to be kind of not super in depth. If you need a counselor, then please seek out counseling for looking into those really deep, lonely places that you can't seem to shake off. Loneliness and depression can look a lot the same. So just want to encourage you, seek out a professional for help if that is where you're feeling. This is going to feel more surfacey. That's the word I was looking for. It's going to feel a little bit more surfacey in the sense that it will also help a lot of people kind of get out of a rut of feeling stuck in those lonely spaces. So super helpful, but not the deep dive you might need with a counselor. Okay, so first, I just want to encourage you through a couple examples of clients I've met with and things that we've talked about. So one of my clients, she is amazing. She's so much fun and so just has such a great personality, is adorable, you know, not one of those, oh, she's a great personality, but she's not really cute too. So she has all of these things going for her. She's successful, she's smart, you know, all of these things. And she kind of has gotten stuck in this rut of feeling lonely because she's not married and she desires to be one day. And just feeling like coming home and being alone, not motivated to like clean the house because it's just for her. What's the big deal? Nobody else is going to be coming here. And then other bad habits kind of start forming around that loneliness. Like you might eat your feelings away, or you may sit on the computer and either just sit on the computer, waste time away, or even sit on the computer and spend money, money that you shouldn't be spending. So you get these thrills of, oh, the box is showing up today. I have something to look forward to. And you really might not need the things that you're buying. You're just trying to fill a spot that feels lonely and empty inside of you. So she was noticing some of these things, and just the more that we talked about it, we just felt like, okay, if you want something different, we have to change something. You can't just stay in the same space over and over, day after day, and expect a different result. Like, what's going to happen is I'm going to just pop up in your living room and say, hey, I'm your husband. It doesn't work that way. You've got to get yourself out there. So for her, we just really kind of talked through what are some other options? What are some things that you can do? And in that, we had looked into just what some passions of hers were, what are some dreams she's just laid down, and that lonely feeling has just kind of taken over instead of learning that she loves doing things with her hands. She loves building things. She loves being creative. So we just kind of worked through some of those. But then the other was how not only things to busy herself with stuff that she's excited about and that she enjoys, but also how can she be around more people? How do we make that work? And we had to get really thinking out of the box because just her work environment is mostly women. She's not a person that loves to go hang out in bars and things like that. She doesn't really want to get on a dating site because those can be a little scary. So we kind of came up with some kind of fun, like game night or gathering night where she could start looking for maybe people at church that are also in the same phase of life that she's in that could just come and hang out. Not like a dating hookup thing, but just a friendship. Again, building on relationships and friendships. Also, if you are alone and you don't have a significant other and your friends have all started getting married, you tend to hang around those people that you trust and that you know. But there's a lonely feeling also when you're the one without a spouse in a room full of people that have a spouse to go home with that day. So it can also bring up just feelings of I'm leaving by myself. And that can be really hard also. So finding friendships that are in the same kind of phase of life that you're in, but in a safe way that doesn't feel like I'm putting myself out there in a way that I don't really want to draw attention in the ways that maybe dating apps sometimes can do that. So I'm saying a lot of things without saying a lot of things. I hope you're picking it up. So another client that I had just kind of had a fear of rejection or not being enough or not being able to interact the way that he would want to be interesting enough for other people to engage with. And for this situation, there was really like some limiting beliefs about himself that made it very hard for him to get out there and put himself out there. So sometimes there is this place of understanding limiting beliefs that you are just accepting as truth without really thinking through, is this something that I'm carrying with me and that is hindering me, that is unsubstantiated, or is there something to that? So if there is something to it, you can learn. Our brains are constantly ready and willing to shift and change and bring new thought processes in if we will help get our brain there to that place. But if maybe you reassess it and you're like, you know what, actually in this environment, I do really well. I don't know why I'm holding on to this fear and this belief about myself, because I can see all these other circumstances I show up in a fun way. I'm a good friend. I'm a good listener. Like just thinking through attributes that you have that really make for great connection with people. And you may just have a limiting belief that you need to reject and say, that's actually not true about me. And I'm going to move on and push through that. So in his case, we also just had to think creative and think of things that he loves or goals that he's had that he's just laid down and hasn't been doing. And he found some really great ways to be himself and bring connection and relationship. So I want to encourage you with those two examples. And then, as I've said in these examples, I would say number one, be creative. Be creative. Think, what are your passions? What have you laid down? What do you think, oh, that was back then, but that's not going to happen anymore? There's so many things out there. Get your friend Google and start Googling things of what to do on the weekends. What is near me that's fun? Maybe even dreams or things that you haven't yet had. Maybe you actually would love just being outdoors and hiking, and you go and you start meeting people. What if you bike and you want to join a club? There's so many clubs online or communities online that you can also join and become a part of, where you're getting to know other people, not just to stalk people, but really you're joining with other people just to get yourself out of the box, get yourself out of the norm. So be creative. There's so many ways. Ask other people for help to think about things as well. If you're stuck and you can't get your brain to think past what is already thought all of this time. So creativity, remember your dreams and desires, try something new. I've talked about all of those things already. Those are the 3 points that I really want you to stretch yourself. If you keep doing the same thing that you're doing, you will get the same results. That's what I want you to remember. You need to do something new. You need to pivot. You need to change. You need to challenge your brain to think beyond what it's thinking right now, and bring in reinforcements to help you if you can't get there on your own. Okay, I hope these things will help you to not stay in a lonely place, but stretch yourself. I don't want you to be lonely, and you don't want to be lonely either. So God bless you. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.